The Signifier is a first-person exploration and puzzle game and is the debut title from developers PlayMe Studio and published by indie publishers Raw Fury, publishers of Cathy Rain, the previously reviewed Bad North, and the excellent Nightcall. The Signifier places you in the shoes of Frederick Russell, an AI and psychology expert who's the co-creator of a device known as the Dreamwalker. It allows you to explore the depths of another person's mind via a scan of their brains.
Please sign right here. Let me take a picture of you with the box.
A picture? Why?
It's part of the protocol.
Oh, okay.
I don't need to remind you how sensitive the material is.
I know. Thanks.
Good. Take care.
The game begins proper when you get assigned the task of investigating an apparent suicide of a VP of the biggest tech company on the planet. When the possibility arises that not all is what it seems, you're thrown into a world of intrigue, ethics and politics, alongside an investigation that looks to blur the lines between dreams and reality. So, enough of the sales pitch, but let's get into the game. It starts off rather abruptly, to be honest. A lot of the fleshing out is done through items you can view, read and interact with. This is a huge risk, giving the details in such a way. You run the risk of the player just breezing past all the nice fluff information you've added to create depth to the game world. None of it has any real bearing on the game or the story, however. You won't find that if you don't pick every single little object up, you won't know how to progress in the game. But you will find yourself asking why you should care. Right off the bat, you'll be given a box of items and asked to investigate the apparent suicide of a top-level executive. Your employer is certain there's more to it than what appears, and gives you a case full of information, almost none of it you can read, and a scan of her brain to determine what really went on. Your reward for this is the promise of funding for your research, and the promise that the spookily named Technical Security Bureau, or the TSB, will pretty much leave you alone. Your employers can guarantee this because, well, they are the TSB. And the woman whose death you're investigating just happens to be the VP of the largest tech company around that they've been trying to get dirt on for years.
Remember, it's because of these people we're here in the first place.
Well, we don't know anything yet.
We will, Russell. I've been in this for too long to know it's not just suicide. You'll see. So, I've given you access to her apartment on Stratford Avenue. They're about to wrap it up over there, but Detective Stan Becker's waiting for you. He knows you're coming. If you want to investigate the real place, you should head out there now.
All right. I'll check it out.
Okay then, I'll leave you to it. Don't keep Stan waiting, and keep me posted on anything you find.
Sure. See ya. It's getting late.
So into her mind you pop, and, aided by your pet AI, Evie, you begin to decipher and work through her last memories, which will take you from her childhood home, to a BDSM club, to a reoccurring apocalyptic dream. Each setting has its own distinct feel and tone due to their unfinished nature. Recreating human memories via an AI isn't perfect. The main selling point is the ability to investigate the scenes in both subjective and objective states.
So this is when she died. Interesting glitch on the clock. Could be a filtering error.
Basically, the objective state is how the scenes are remembered from the information gathered using all 5 senses, and the subjective state recreates the scenes incorporating how the subject felt and their emotions as well. This can lead to the same scenes having drastically different tones. In a very good example, an objective childhood memory of her parents hugging changes when viewed subjectively to a model of a universe in the same spot. It's really clever. Similarly, when viewing dreams or memories of a drugged up state, the game goes massively low res to convey the fuzzy nature of the recall. Having had more than a few heavy nights out myself, I can almost relate to how trying to remember would be interpreted by an observer like this. All throughout the exploration, these issues are commented on by Russell to Evie, with plans to overhaul and fix them. It really conveys the sense that this is a work in progress and helps to ground the game's weirder tones. Coming up against the blacked out portion of memory requires the solving of puzzles or the use of avatars. Some puzzles are clever perspective ones, while others require the use of scattered raw data that takes numerous forms when looked at. Fitting these into where they will advance the memory can be onerous at times, but it's never too great a leap in logic. The symbolism and level structure is incredibly deep and interesting. If you're someone with a background or interest in psychology, particularly Lacanian psychology, then you're going to have a field day deciphering the scenes. Yeah, you won't need to complete the game, but it adds another layer to the experience, because an experience is really what the Signifier is, and a fantastic one at that. Which is such a shame that everything around the central story and symbology is so poor.
A picture of a dog following her?
First off, the game is quite buggy in its current state. The reason I couldn't put this review out pretty much when the game was released was due to a bug that constantly spawned me miles outside a level, leaving me falling through nothing. It's actually a testament to quite how good the game's use of light, darkness and space is that it took me an embarrassing amount of time to realise that this was a glitch and not what was meant to happen. The controls also aren't the best. They're slightly floaty, which doesn't sit well with the often surreal and warped areas you find yourself in at times. The screen has a weird bob from side to side when standing still, like the character's drunk and about to fall over at any time. If you've any sort of vertigo or motion sickness, this may not be a pleasant gaming experience for you. The motions of the other characters are quite clunky also, and the few face-to-face interactions aren't scripted or animated very well. In particular, the scenes with the daughter stand out for their jerkiness, as well as the lack of coherence with regards to any of the plots. In fact, none of the plots and subplots are resolved with any kind of coherence. And this brings me to the main downfall of the Signifier: the ending. It's utterly atrocious. Not a single plotline or thread is resolved with any degree of closure whatsoever. It really baffles me why designers do this. It's not exactly a revelation to say that no matter how good a story is, a poor ending will always ruin things. So to have gone through all the effort of crafting such a detailed and gripping narrative, only just to drop the guillotine at the end and hand wave off most of it makes no sense whatsoever. It's also not much of a revelation to say that, if you're planning on introducing new characters, the ending is the very worst place to do that. Given the sheer skill the game had been crafted with up until the ending, contrasting with the sheer amateurish nature of the ending itself, leads me to believe that the game was rushed pretty quickly. Which is a huge pity, as I was completely engrossed in the story and really wanted to see the conclusion. In summary, the Signifier is a fantastic idea, executed brilliantly, but ended comically badly. With superb visuals, great voice acting, including a star turn by Holt McCannally, that's Agent Tench from Mindhunter, and a truly rich, deep narrative murder mystery story, this game had everything perfect from the beginning, only to mess it up with poor scripting, clunky character animations, and a fucking shockingly bad ending. I can't help but recommend this game to everybody, but I'll be always screwing my face while doing it and saying, look, it's great, but try not to let the ending spoil it for you.